Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Tracy Hardell and I'm going to be your instructor for this nursing education practicum course. Congratulations for making it this far into your program. I think you're going to really find this to be an interesting course that kind of ties all those pieces together, and I'm really looking forward to spending the next 16 weeks with you. I am coming to you from a very uninspiring corner of my hotel room. My husband and I are actually on vacation in Maui at the moment, but I'll be back next week. If our weather clears up and we get some good sunshine, maybe I'll upload a few photos, so that explains the background. All right, so this is going to be a really cool course. You guys have acquired a lot of knowledge now throughout your program. We're going to have a chance to dialogue, bounce things off of each other about topics within education, and I think it's going to be really good. Okay, so a few things. I've taught this course quite a few times now. I will tell you that some of the directions are a little bit confusing. Please bear with me. I will get us all through it. This course is actually going to be revised this year, so we haven't quite fine-tuned it enough, but we will get there. It'll be fine. So one of the things that's going to be important is that you watch this video every week at the beginning of the week, because every week I will be going over a little bit about course content, and I will be talking about the upcoming assignments, tips, clarifying instructions, different things like that. So it's going to be important that you watch the video each week. And let's see. So first, you may have noticed there are quite a few announcements. And I put a few announcements in there because some of those are things that you're going to want to refer back to later in the course, and I want you to be able to find them really easily. So if you haven't already, please read through all those announcements. I know there's quite a few of them, but there's some really good information in there. This course is a little bit different. We have a different number of DQs each week. We have a different way of looking at participation, and there's going to be some different products that you'll have to create. So please take a moment to look through those. That would be great. All right. So this week we're starting out with our discussion questions, and the first one has to do with the first NLN nursing educator competency, which is facilitate learning. And when you have the discussion questions on these competencies, please look in your NLN competency book, and there's a summary right at the beginning before it gets into the discussion by various people. That summary right at the beginning, I want you to touch on at least a few of those points, because each competency has really quite a long list of components that can fit into that competency. So I'd like you to touch on several of them each time that we discuss one of the NLN competencies in our discussion questions. Okay. So I think we'll have a good discussion about that. Facilitate learning is one of the easiest NLN educator competencies to understand, and usually most of you, even if you haven't taught formally, have done informal education, definitely as a nurse, so we'll have some good discussion about that. In discussion DQ2, you're actually going to be looking at the university mission statement and applying it to several questions. Now, please note in the discussion questions, many of them have more than one question. So really make sure that you read the whole thing, that you answer each question, and definitely include at least one reference, and I'm sure you're used to doing that by now. So you'll be looking at the mission and applying it to some issues of teaching and learning. So that'll be those for this week. Week 1 assignment. I love the practicums that you in the Office of Field Experience are able to set up. I think it's great that you get to have that practicum experience at the end of your program. The communication piece is not the greatest sometimes between the Office of Field Experience and the instructors. So this first assignment is you are going to fill out the form for your first assignment that talks about your preceptor and lists all the information, even if you've already submitted it to the Office of Field Experience, you have to complete this assignment. The Office of Field Experience does not send that information to me, okay? So, if you have a preceptor already, complete that document, upload it so that I can have that for the week 1 assignment. There's my husband, kind of crawling around in the background, trying not to be in the picture, but not being real successful. Okay, so then let's say you don't have a preceptor assigned. And if you're one of the people who's going to have an online practicum through GCU, you're going to have to go through a 3-week orientation process before you get assigned a preceptor. No problem. All you need to do is send me a note in your individual forum that says that that's the case. And then after you complete that orientation, you get assigned a GCU preceptor. At that point, you'll go back to week 1, fill out the paper, and upload it. It's not a problem at all. I'm very used to having usually half of my students doing GCU online practicums, and it works out just fine. Okay. So I think those are the big things for week 1. As we get rolling along, I'll get into more kind of nitty-gritty detail about the content we're discussing for the week, the assignments we're doing for the week. Next week, we'll be doing an assignment that has to do with the form that you're going to be adding on to every 2 weeks throughout our 16 weeks together. It is confusing. The directions are confusing. You fill it out differently, whether you've started your practicum, whether you're going to start it later. Don't spend any time investing in that this week. Wait until I give you the video for next week. You'll be just fine, and it'll work out great. You'll be much less frustrated, I promise. Okay. I think that's about it. I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you. One of my announcements was about posting your bio on the class wall, and it also has some specific questions that I'd like you to answer. So if you could do that, that would be great. We're going to be spending 16 weeks together, and I'd really like to get to know you a little bit. We've got a great class size, and we're all going to be interacting and sharing experiences. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the main forum.